Hey everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing. Hopefully you could hear that. I'm getting ready to stitch out part A of Bunny Boot, which means we're going to do the dimensional part because the Bunny Boot has a front where you can tuck stuff in. And then we are going to also stitch out the door from the mushroom home. And that is also part A because both of those blocks have a part A and part B, and I just thought it'd be easier if we did that ahead of time. So I am going to do both of them, and I'm just using my regular 5x7 hoop, and we're doing this with wash away stabilizer. So it calls for wash away stabilizer for both of these. I have myself some handy dandy Kimberbell 12" by 10 yards wash away stabilizer. That is my favorite size when I am using a 5x7 hoop or any of my 8" hoops. Don't throw this away. Take this and tuck it into your stabilizer, and that way you always know what stabilizer this is. And I am going to go ahead and get this puppy going. And then we're going to hoop. It doesn't say here whether or not it wants you to use 2 layers, but normally when I do anything that's kind of freestanding, I usually use 2 layers of stabilizer. And I'm going to go ahead and just fold this over. This is my handy dandy new table that I love for everything. And I'll just take that off. Dissolve away 2 layers. I'm just going to put this in here. Remember, you have an arrow at the top that says that is the top, and it matches the arrow on here. And you're just going to go ahead and push it in. Okay, there we go. Make sure its inner hoop and outer hoop are flush. Last thing you want is for it to pop out. So make sure it is flush. And I don't want all this excess stabilizer, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it away. And guess what? I was playing with the design, and you can fit both designs in one hooping. So I'm going to do the boot and the mushroom door all at the same time. Prepare to be amazed. Just kidding. Okay. Here's our goodies. So what you're going to need for part A is... part A, you need the boot, leaves, clear vinyl. So I'm going to grab that right now. I put my accessories in the front part. So here's my clear vinyl. And then in the back part, I have, let's see, the leaves, the boot. So you have one of these. And this one should have the shape flex on it. So, yes, I don't know if they're both supposed to have shape flex on it. It says right here, iron fusible backing to the wrong side of the background fabric and 1 boot. So I only did 1 boot fabric. So that's why shape flex is on the back of this. And then we have our vinyl, and we are hooped, and I already lost the vinyl. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we have these, and we need leaves. And it looks like one of these. So one of these we're going to use, okay? The rest I'm going to put in here. We are going to use this when we get together on Friday. But I want both parts A to be done and dry. Okay. All right. I'm going to take this and hang it back up by the handy dandy ribbon strap. Now I know where to find it. This is for part A of the boot. I'm going to put it over by my machine. Now we're going to do this, which is part A of the mushroom. And for that, we need the door fabric. Let's see what we have in here. What do we have in here? I think this is the door fabric. 2.5. Nope, that can't be it. 2.5 by 3.5. 2 of them. That's it. 2.5 by 3.5. 2 of them with shape flex on them. And then we also need the shapeform interfacing. I'm going to put this back. And in here are my embellishments. I'm so fancy now. Okay, here's your shape form. It is this like kind of thicker Peltex shape form kind of stuff. That's going to be for the door. And that looks like that's all we need for part A. I think we're ready to go. I'm going to zip these up and hang them back up. I'm so organized now. Just kidding. I'm like the queen of disorganization. And why don't we come on over to our machine? Here's our handy dandy spreadsheet. On here it says bunny boot A, wash away. Oh, you're also going to need matching bobbins. So I forgot about that. You need matching bobbins, a buttercup, celery, and then for this of spice brown. So let's go ahead and wind those. When I need a matching bobbin, there are times where I will just go to my stash and find something that looks close, because a lot of times it doesn't have to be perfect and your upper thread pulls from the top to the back side. So you might see it, but if you see it, you're barely going to see it. So I'm just going to look and see if I have something that matches my spice brown. Here is spice brown, and I think this is a good enough match, so I'm going to use this one. And buttercup is this kind of pretty yellow right here. And guess what? This looks really close. And celery. Where's my celery? Here's my celery. This one's a little bit brighter, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I don't need to wind any bobbins. I'm just going to use what I have, and I am happy. If you don't have anything that matches, I want you to go ahead and wind bobbins. And I always just wind half a bobbin. It's really rare that I need the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. Let me get my computer out of the way. See, it fits. But let me show you how we're going to put it up there. So I already sent over my designs using design database transfer. I have not even been using a USB. I'm going to go home to clear my screen so I can show you how I loaded those. We're going to go into embroidery. And first thing you should do is choose your hoop size. So I did start off with the 5x7, and then I was like, that is way too big. So I'm going to come up here, and frame size is right here. You want to choose 5x7. And the reason you do that is we're going to put 2 designs in there. You want to make sure they're going to go ahead and fit. So 5x7, I'm going to leave all of this just the way it is, and I'm going to say okay. I'm going to go to here to my pocket. If you are transferring designs using design database transfer, then you're going to go to the Wi-Fi symbol. This is where you're going to go if you're bringing it up via USB. That's so 2024. So I am like shocked because I do not embrace technology or change, but I've been doing it and forcing myself, and I have been loving it. So let's go ahead and select the boot first. You're going to see you have 2 boot designs. This is the full embroidery, and this right here is just for the little embellishment that we're going to do first. So let's go ahead and select that one. We're going to set it, and I'm going to move it so it's going to fit in this space. This is my 5x7 space. That's why we put it up there, so we would utilize that space the best we could. And I'm going to go edit, move. I move with my finger for general placement, and then I use my arrows for precision. That's what I always say. So I'm going to move it over a little bit, and I think that looks perfect. Do you see that? I'm like right inside of that line. We're going to now go ahead and let's add. So I'm going to say okay. And now I'm going to add. Oop, did you see me hit it? Hang on. Can I get back? Can I go back there? So here's my add button. Add. I'm going to go back to my pocket. I'm going to go back to my Wi-Fi, or you could go to your USB. And now I'm going to add the door. Now the door design is made for the 4x4 hoop. And I tried this beforehand just to make sure it worked. Set. I can grab it over here. And I'm going to put it all the way in the top right corner. I'm going to show you what happens when you're just a little bit outside of the box. Can you see that? My door is just a little bit above. That's why you put that outline on there, because now I can go embroidery. I'm going to slide my 5x7 on. Here it is. Uh-oh. Change to a larger embroidery frame. So it's going to tell you. So I need to go ahead and either put in a different frame, or I can just move that design. It's going to keep saying that. So if it keeps giving you that message, all you're going to do is kind of pop it out. You're going to hit return, because guess what? In your layout screen, it looks at those as one design. So if I bump it in here, it's going to bump this one out. So I have to go to the previous screen, your main edit screen. I'm going to touch that design. I'm going to go edit, move, and I'm just going to, and here, I'll put it back where it was. Let's zoom in 200% so you can see it. Do you see how I'm right outside of that line? So now with my move arrows, I'm going to just pop it down, maybe one more. See, now I'm within that line, and I'll bump it over. So now you can tell I'm well within the line. Let's go ahead and look at our boot. He's well within the line there, and maybe I'll just one click over. So now I'm well within my 5x7. That is what you do if you're outside of your line. Okay, perfect. We can't do color grouping because this is overlapping that, but that's okay. We're just going to do the boot first, and then we'll do the door. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to touch embroidery, which means I'm ready to embroider. And let's go ahead and do our design. First thing it wants us to do is it wants us to do a placement line. Let's grab our instruction book. Instructions. Here we go. I'm going to turn to my instructions. Load the Part A embroidery file into the machine. Stitch the boot placement line. Look at that eye. That means use a color that you can see. First color we're going to need is going to be celery. So I'll just go ahead and put that in right now. We'll be able to see it. That's going to be our light green. Can I tell you, I actually did not feel like stitching because I'm super tired and I wanted to go to bed. But then I said, okay, Jeannie, dig deep, because I want to get you guys your video, because I want you to have at least a little bit of time if you need help with this, because we are stitching on Friday. So you should at least have this for Thursday, and then I can get it done. And I need to be accountable to you guys, because I would have just gone upstairs and sat my butt on the couch, not done anything productive. And now I will feel so much better having gotten this done. So thank you. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. Uh-oh. Red. Why aren't I ready? Ooh. There you go. Now what? Green. Green means go. If it's red, there's a reason. Okay, while it's doing the placement line, I am going to go ahead and... It says, I read this and I was like, wait a minute here. Place the one boot fabric with fusible backing. Here's my piece with the fusible backing. Right side up. Right side up. Fabric right side up. I was like, fusible backing right side up? I love to confuse myself. So I'm going to give this a little shot of spray. Let me get my spray tent and my KK100. I love spray. I love KK100. Here is my spray tent, my dime spray tent. Here you go. Oh my God, your gorgeous spray tent. My fabric with the shape flex on it. My favorite spray, Ganil KK100. I am not a taper, but if you want to tape, you can tape. Don't let me force you to do anything. You do what makes your heart happy. Okay, I'm going to lay this piece of fabric down. Make sure it covers the whole boot and nothing but the boot. And then the next step it says, uh-oh, I almost skipped this. Place the boot vinyl on top and tape into place. Okay, I will tape that because I don't want it to be like all icky. So I'm going to take it out of its clear plastic container. This seems like an awfully big piece of vinyl for this. Did it want to cut down? Vinyl. Vinyl, 5 by 6.5 inches. It does not. I'm going to put it under here and then let's see, because I can't stand wasting. Yeah, and I'm going to check over here. Where does that boot have to be? Okay, that should be good. And I just happen to have some handy dandy tape transport on the edge of my table. Tape it up there. And another piece with dog hair on it. Sorry. Oh my God, that's gross. Sorry. I love transport because it like rips so easily. It's super sticky and you can use it over and over. All right. That looks good to me. Transport is down. Vinyl is down. Uh-oh. Okay, that's on this side. You just don't want anything icky sandwiched in between. I have a pink thread here that will drive me crazy. Let me get that out. Okay. Make sure there's nothing in there. It says stitch the boot, tack down line, remove the tape. Color does not make a difference. When you see that, that means color doesn't make a difference. I'm going to leave celery in there and let's go ahead and stitch it. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought for a minute it was going to catch that tape, but it did not. It says, do not trim the fabric or the vinyl at this time. And then step number 3 says, stitch the leaves placement line. And it is asking for celery. See step number 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start because I already have celery in there. This is your leaves placement line, and these are your leaves. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little shot of spray because we're going to lay this down. For me, I would just hit stop now because I know this is the bottom part of it and that it's going up and to the right, but I'll just go ahead and do them all. I like to not stitch if I feel like I don't have to stitch, but I also don't want you engaging in risky behavior. Okay, and I'm just going to lay this down right like that. I'm going to see if trim the fabric as desired. This is raw edge. Okay. When I see that, I know I need at least 1/8 of an inch. So I'll go ahead and move that a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and do the tack down. I sprayed mine so it's sticking. If you're not spraying, you should tape. If you're not taping, you should use a stiletto and you should hold your fabric down. Like you should do something like this so it doesn't move, but not with your finger. So right now it is doing step number 4. And step number 4 says, stitch the leaves tack down line, remove the tape, trim the fabric as desired. This is a raw edge applique. So as desired for me means I'm going to use my curved straight scissors and I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge. So I'm going to be using these. And we sell these on the website. So if you don't know what to get, just get them on our website. I love the Fermoris. That's what I use most of the time. A lot of the people, of the different designers, they use Fermori too, and they resell them under their name. So Fermori is everywhere. Okay. Here we go. Because I have to kind of move this around, I am going to pop this off. A lot of times I will cut with this like still on here, but this has some like curves to it. So let's go ahead and let's trim. You can cut right to the leaves if you want. I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch or something. And it's really kind of easy just to turn the hoop as you're cutting. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I think I'm heavy breathing. I was totally mouth breathing just then. I was so relaxed. Sorry. Were you like, wow, she's really creepy with all that heavy mouth breathing? Okay, truth be told, I mouth breathe all the time. And I think it's because I think something's wrong with my nose. I need to have it dealt with. I should go this year because I hit my healthcare deductibles. So I better go. I better make an appointment. I feel like I'm getting old because I have to have surgery all the time. That's like an old person thing, right? You know, that doesn't happen when you're a kid. I should also be working on the back of my pillow. Maybe I'll just do a live feed and we can just do a sit and sew. And I'll sew together back of my pillow and show you how I do it. My process. My process is there is no process. I just kind of sew things together. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. Does that look ugly? Is that kind of not really cute? Hang on. I'm going to get my snips and kind of fix that up. And maybe I need to get closer. Yeah, they have, let me see if theirs is really cute. I think theirs is really cute. In my, oh, look how cute theirs is. How come mine doesn't look that cute? Let me fix it up a little bit. I think I need to get a little bit closer. Ooh. Okay, it's going from bad to worse. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit closer. It's okay. I'm giving mine a little bit of a haircut. Should I pause the video? Are you guys like getting super bored? I just, I feel like I need to give it a little bit of a haircut. And then I have to round out any. Okay, that looks better, don't you think? Okay, I see one edge I don't really like this one right here. And then I don't like this edge. Right here. Can't even get it. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. I think that looks... Oh my God, I can't help myself. I was going to stop, but I can't. Okay, that's it for real. Next step. Next step says... trim the fabric as desired. This is raw edge applique. Turn the boot to the back and place the remaining one boot fabric right side up, completely covering the project, and tape the corners and the sides in place. Okay, so we're going to turn it to the back and we're going to put this on there. So here we go. Flip it. Grab your other piece of fabric. Oh, I hung it up because I didn't think I needed it. Yeah, look at me not paying attention. You need both of them. Let me get it. Good thing it's over here and it's all labeled. So easy for me to find. I'm going to give mine a little shot of spray. Just a little itty bitty one. And I'm still going to tape my corners though, because those are the ones that get folded under. And you know who loves this tape? Poppy. She looks for it and she chews it up. Corners for me. And it says the sides. I'm not going to do the sides. I'm just going to do the corners because that's how I am. Okay, perfect. I'm going to flip it back over. It says, completely covering the project, tape the corners and the sides in place, stitch the boot, tack down line, and alignment stitches. And it doesn't say that color makes a difference. It says color does not make a difference. Stitch in blue. This is step 5. So is that the blue right there at the very, very bottom? So trim the fabric. I'm going to go ahead and just hit start because it says color doesn't make a difference. After it does the boot, tack down line and alignment stitch. Oh, see, it did those little bobbles right there. It says trim the fabric and vinyl along the top curved edge only, close to the stitch line. Okay, ready? I'm going to take it off again. Trim the fabric and vinyl along the top curve. Here's the top curve edge only, close to the stitch line. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to get these because I want a little more heft because we have vinyl too. Fabric and vinyl, right? Fabric and vinyl. Close to the stitch line. Oh my God, I'm heavy breathing again. Sorry, I'm just so relaxed with you guys. That's like a kind of a nice piece of vinyl. I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to do this because I want to keep it. I can't help it. Don't judge me. Okay, so we did that. Oh no, now it wants you to turn the hoop to the back. There we go, to the back. Flipped it over. And it says, remove the tape, trim the fabric along the top curved edge only, close to the stitch line. So here's my tape. Does it want me to remove all my tape? I'm not going to remove all my tape. I'm going to keep the tape down on the bottom. Here we go. Close to the stitch line. And I'm going to flip it back to the front. Let's go on with our instructions. Change the bobbin thread to match the top thread Stitch the boot, top satin outline, and decorative outline. So we're going to put in our buttercup top and bottom. So go ahead and take out that bobbin. If you haven't already done it, you need a matching bobbin. Remember, I'm just using my leftovers. I love using my leftovers. So I have this yellow bobbin right here. Close enough. Who knows? Maybe it even is buttercup. It might be. And then I'm going to grab my buttercup right here. Oh, it does. I think it is. I think it is. Let's put in our upper thread, buttercup, buttercup. Do you remember being a kid and then you would pick a buttercup flower and then you would hold it under your chin, and if it reflected yellow, which it always did, then it meant you liked butter? That's we used to do. Isn't that silly? I'm going to hold this out of the way because I want to use it again. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. This is going to do a yellow satin stitch along the top of the boot. I need a longer arm. And in this situation, I'm going to use my stiletto. Or this is one of my probes from my probe set that I'm using with my Scan & Cut. I just love it. Makes my arm longer. Keeps my fingers safe. And then after this, we're going to put in our celery bobbin and our celery thread. And we're going to stitch the flowers. I'm sorry, not the flowers. We're going to stitch the stem detail. As much as I didn't feel like doing this, I'm really excited that it'll be done and I'm going to be ready for class on Friday. Okay, take out your buttercup. Put in your celery. We're going to take this off. We're going to put in our celery bobbin. I loved not having to wind another bobbin. I try to limit my bobbins. I have a couple bobbin boats, and then I have one bobbin holder, and that bobbin holder, it's the only, oh shoot, you know what, I'm lying. I think I have two of them. Do I have two of them? Am I imagining that? Let me slide this on. And now it's going to do the stem. I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. And if you don't like that, when it pops up and down like that, I usually will just hold it down with my stiletto. So, or my probe. I have this. I love this. This to me is like the best bobbin holder because look, they just hold in there. So I keep them all in here. I try to stay contained to this and use everything in here. And no other bobbins. Okay, what are we doing now? Was that it? We stitched the stem detail. We're going to change our bobbin back to a neutral color. And I'll put the white back in and remove the tape. Remove the project from the home. From the home. We're going to move it. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put my white bobbin back in. Whoop. And trim the excess stabilizer. I'm going to leave it in there because guess what? I'm going to do the little mushroom door right in the upper right hand side of this. But it says trim the excess stabilizer 1/8 from the top of the boot. Trim the remaining excess stabilizer so it's even with the edge of the fabric and vinyl. Remove the excess stabilizer along the top curved edge of the boot with a wet cotton swab. Allow to dry. And then, oh yeah, so with this, because it doesn't say to cut it, sorry, it's falling down, doesn't say to cut it, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to fold it out of the way. We're just going to do this. Hopefully this will be out of the way enough. Hopefully this was not a bad idea. I could also just cut it, because are we going to need that? Let's see, how do we lay it down? I think I could trim it. Final side. Yeah, it has you keep it, but I don't need that much. I could kind of trim it just away right there. Okay, let's just see if we can pull it back out of the way. Let's go on. We are now going to do the mushroom door. So if you look at the mushroom door, it wants you to hoop your wash away stabilizer. And we are going to load the part A embroidery file, which I've already done, stitch the door base placement line. So we're going to do that first. And this does need to be kind of pulled out of the way. I'm going to slide this on. Color doesn't make a difference, just a color that you can see. I have celery in there. I'm just going to bend this out of the way, and I'm hoping this is going to be A-okay. But look at that. You got to get this out of the way too. See this? I'm going to get this out of the way. See this? I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay. And now it's going to do the placement stitch. He's only itty bitty. Oh yeah. Fine. No problem. Hopefully you're okay with this. If you don't like it, then I want you to go ahead and do 2 separate hoopings. So that is the door placement line. Place the door base shape form. So you're going to grab that hard piece of white stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down. I'm just going to pop it under here. And it says stitch the door base tack down line, remove the tape. Trim the shape form close to the stitch line. Color doesn't make a difference. I'm going to go ahead and I'm leaving the celery in. And we have plenty of room. Ooh, I was close to the top, huh? Living on the edge. Trim the shape form close to the stitch line. Let me go ahead and take this. I'm going to fold this back and tape it out of the way. There we go. Oh, wow. It really sticks to the vinyl. So this should be easy peasy. Okay. So we want to trim that. I wonder if my snips are enough. Oh, yeah. No problem. Close to the stitch line. Okay, so that's what it looks like now that I trimmed that away. All right. Now it wants you to stitch the door placement line. Well, guess what? The door goes right over this, so you don't really need it. I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to spray this. You can see turquoise is placement, and remember to go forward and backwards when you touch this button. I'm going to skip the placement because we know it's going to go right around the shape form. I'm going to do the tack down. And I'm going to give this a little shot of spray. I'm going to put it on the door just like that. And so I skipped the door placement line, but I did place one door fabric right side up, tape in place. I sprayed mine, stitch the door tack down line, remove the tape. So now I'm going to go ahead, slide my hoop back on. Color doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to leave celery in. And it says, do not trim the fabric at this time. Then you're going to stitch the doorknob detail, and that is going to be in buttercup. So take out your celery. Oh my goodness, am I shouting? Holy cow. Let me, I'm going to talk to you in a quiet, more relaxing voice. It's going to be like those voices you hear in... Oh, goodness. Hang on, I'm panicking because my screen just went dark, which means my battery is going dead, which means I need to plug in right now. And there we go. Okay, go ahead and stitch your doorknob. So you should have your buttercup in. And we're doing this step right here, stitch the doorknob detail. There's the picture. Then we're gonna turn the hoop to the back. We're gonna place the remaining door fabric right side up, completely covering the project. Tape the corners and sides in place. Stitch the door tack down and hinge lines. Trim the door. I was just looking to see, were we supposed to put a matching bobbin in? Hello? No matching bobbin? Did I miss it? No, I don't see it. Okay, here's our door. I wonder if it would have been better if I like turned it on its side. I'm going to take this out because what we just did was we did the doorknob, turn the hoop to the back, place the remaining fabric. Here's my remaining fabric. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray and I'm going to tape. I'm going to give it the double whammy. This is what I have on the back. And if you don't like all of this fabric being in the way, if I had to do it over again, I would still do it like this because I don't want to do another hooping. Okay, there we go. So I did that. Place the remaining door right side up, completely covering the project. Tape the corners and sides in place. I did the sides. Stitch the door tack down in a color that you can see. I'll just leave the buttercup in because it doesn't say it makes a difference. Stitch the door tack down and hinge lines. So right here, it's going to do this with the hinge lines. Let's do that. Let's slide it on. Okay. So now it's going to do the door tack down and hinge lines. Oh, there's one hinge. There's two hinges. Okay. Trim the... We did that, right? Hinge lines. Trim the fabric close to the stitch line around the door. Here's our picture. And look, do not trim right there. So this part you do not trim, but we're going to trim all the way around here. And then we're going to turn to the back, remove the tape, and we're going to trim the door close to the stitch line around the door. Do not trim the fabric between the hinge lines. Ooh, this is kind of fun. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to trim right here above this hinge line and the fabric all the way around. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. I don't know, it's just kind of like, I don't want to say grade school, but it just reminds me of like art class, right? It's kind of like a puzzle and you have to be careful and figure it all out too. Okay, so that is the front. This is how you're trimming the front. Let's go ahead and turn it to the back side, and we are going to trim this. Am I in my, yeah, I'm in my bobbin tension. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of icky. Not sure why it looks like that, but okay, it's the back. Who cares? This is going to have a nice satin stitch all the way around it, I can tell. Makes me go, do I need to reset my bobbin? Okay, and don't trim in between your hinge lines. So you're going to go ahead and leave it just like that. Looks great. Here we go. I'm going to pop this out and just make sure. And looks good. All right. What's our next step? Next, I'm going to go ahead and the instructions say I'm going to turn to the back, remove the tape, trim the fabric close to the stitch lines, do not trim. So we did all of that. I'm going to turn my page, and now it says, oh, there we go. Change the bobbin thread to match the top thread, and then we're going to stitch the door satin outline. So we're going to take this. You're going to put in your spice brown. I'm putting this in, which is close. Might not be totally as dark, but it's okay. Let's take out our upper thread. And I'm going to just put in my spice brown. Might be the same. Let's slide our hoop back on. Okay, so you should have put in a matching bobbin. You should have put in your spice brown in the upper, stitch the door satin outline. I'm just going to hit start. Look at your screen. This is what you should see. That's going to be the last step. That's going to be 2 minutes of stitching. Just let it go. You might have to watch out for this. I might just watch that. Just make sure my foot doesn't hit anything. And if that's too close for comfort for you, then just do them in separate hoopings. After we do the satin outline, we're going to change the bobbin back to a neutral color so we don't forget. And we'll move the project from the hoop. And we're just going to kind of trim the stabilizer about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the design. Do not cut the fabric between the hinge. And we're going to move the excess stabilizer along the edge of the stitching with a wet cotton swab and allow to dry. All right. Okay, here's your instructions, the next part. Trim all the way around this about 1/8 of an inch. Wet Q-tip, go around the edge so there's no more stabilizer. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pop this out of the hoop. I thought it was enough room. It didn't make me nervous, but if it makes you nervous, I want you to go ahead and you can do them in separate hoopings. But I'm just going to go ahead and trim around here about 1/8 of an inch. It felt a little thick. Sometimes I treat dissolve away like tear away, because a lot of times you can just rip it like this. See? So we'll just take a Q-tip. Okay, you're going to take a Q-tip and kind of rub it along the edges to get rid of it. And there's some that's going to live sandwiched in between forever. Cute little door, isn't he? Now let's go back to the, and I'm not going to do that. You guys know how to do that. You can do it on your own. I'm going to go back to the directions for the boot. And right here, all it wants you to do is it wants you to just cut around this. So 1/8 inch all the way around. Let me take this piece of tape off too. And the only place that it wants you to I'll leave that stabilizer. I'll cut it off in one piece later on. Okay, all of that trash can. I'm just getting it out of here. Trash can. See, it's part of my therapy. And then this right. Don't cut the stitches. Whatever you do, don't cut the stitches. Okay. So, oh, wait a minute. What is that? Where did that dirty mess come from? Okay, here we go. And that there's a little bit of this gone, but don't worry about that because we're going to be trimming all of this away. So this is what you should have for the boot. And it says you're just going to take a Q-tip right here. Everything else you can go ahead and leave because we'll cut it away. And I think it's going to satin stitch. You can see right here, there's going to be a satin stitch around it. So remove the excess stabilizer along the top curved edge with a wet cotton swab. Allow to dry. And so we are ready. Here is our door. Here is this. I will take a cotton swab and just kind of wet this until you can't see any of the white. And those parts A's are done for us to get together when I see you on Friday. And thanks for joining me. See you later. Bye.